Are they out of their minds? $40 trainer starting again. Are they out of their minds? $40 trainer clothes. TF, this is bananas, Bananas. Hi, everybody. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw. And I've got to talk to you a little bit about this because, I mean, the short answer is no, they're not out of their minds. And the medium answer is yeah, they're out of their minds. And then the much longer answer is no, they're not out of their minds. But I want to talk to you about the monetization, not only inside Pokemon Unite, we got it early, but free-to-play games in general. I want to make a bigger video about this, but I want to talk about this right here first. The cost of these trainer outfits that are pretty cool. A lot of people were excited about these when they saw them in the Chinese beta, and now we have the price for them. There is a hefty price tag on these cosmetics. So let's talk a little bit about why. So I think a lot of people maybe don't fully realize, or maybe don't even want to accept how the economy of a free-to-play game works. The vast majority of the players who download this game, Pokemon Unite has had over 100 million downloads worldwide. The vast majority of these players have never spent a dime in this game. And with 100 million downloads, people probably, like a good, I would say at least 50 million of that, you know, installed it, played a match, saw it wasn't for them, and then left. And then the player base from that continues to shrink as like players are like more interested, and a lot of them, you know, fall off as the game continues, right? But the game was downloaded 100 million times. And out of those 100 million downloads, I would be shocked if more than maybe 0.1% actually ever spent money in this game. In fact, it's more likely that maybe 0.1% ever spent money, or even less, right? And of course, when you have a worldwide game, depending on where people are downloading and what they're paying, like money is different across the world. Hi, welcome to Jake Teaches You Currency. You know, money's different, but in general, a very small number of players make up the entirety of the game's economy. They make up all the money. Now, there are a lot of players who play the game and they play it free to play, and they support this game in different ways. They support this game by giving it a player base. They support this game by, you know, making sure that all of the interactions that you can take advantage of are taken advantage of. They give the devs a good idea of what people are actually interested in. But at the end of the day, as we go all the way home with Pokemon Unite, they are a game that is made to make a profit and eventually turn hopefully as many customers as they can from non-paying customers into paying customers. And if you know free-to-play games, they are really trying to bag as many whales as possible. And this is talked about on this Reddit thread here. At a point, it's mentioned as long as people keep buying it, they're going to keep selling it. The main majority of the community they listen to love the cosmetics. It's a free game, so they can do whatever they want, is a quote, which is an interesting quote. It is a free game. They could do whatever they want, I guess. But I think the more accurate quote is, at least from players who don't mind the price of the cosmetics, or at least understand the price of the cosmetics, is it's a free game as long as they aren't charging for things that are going to actually make a significant difference in battles. They can do whatever they want, which is I think a kind of reasonable take to have. It's pretty much the take I have, which is a little more nuanced. I wish the prices were different. But in general, I don't really care if they're charging for cosmetics in a game as long as it doesn't affect the gameplay and people who are playing for free can have a relative shot inside the matches with people who are playing a ton of money. That's about the best you could ever expect from any free-to-play game, and really any game in general. Because even games that you pay like a $60, $70 price tag for, there are things inside them that you could buy. If the only thing that you can really purchase in a game is cosmetics, honestly, it is what it is, guys. Some people's Greninjas are going to look a little cooler than others, even though I wish there was a way to earn a lot of these rewards personally. Hylian Soul here says, I'm genuinely wondering who buys these, like whales and whatnot. Whales is being talked about here, which I'll get to in a second. One thing that they're talking about, which I also don't understand, I know there's more emphasis on this in the Chinese beta, but you don't really get to enjoy your trainer outfit. Like, you don't get to see these really. Except just yourself when you're logging in and kind of that splash screen when you're loading, and then right at the end of the match, right? I actually think it would make a lot of sense to do more with these, given that they have a hefty price tag, but that's a conversation for a later time, right? I also don't understand why they're charging so much for it, given that you don't really see the clothes. But a player, or a commenter, excuse me, asks about this. Hi, I'm curious, what do you mean by whales? Not familiar with the term. Now, here is the cold hard truth about these free-to-play games. Almost every single dollar that is put into these games is not only put in by that 0.01% of all the people that downloaded. From that full download number, it's like 0.001%. It's so insanely small. The smallest number of players spend a lot of money on a free-to-play game. A very, very small percentage. It's usually less than 3% of the active player base, and that's probably even high. Spend everything, essentially. Now, it's true that they want your dollar. Like, when you first get the game, they have the ability to get like 60 gems for $1 or something, and you can get a new Pokemon with that. You can buy like one right away. They absolutely want to get you to spend. But in reality, what they're trying to do with any free-to-play game is they are trying to get enough people who have enough discretionary income that are happy to spend a couple $100 possibly a month on video games, on a free-to-play game, and they're like, cool, a new outfit, I'm gonna buy it. Oh, awesome, there's a new Wigglytuff Hollowware. I don't even play Wigglytuff, but I'm gonna buy it, right? They are hoping that they can find enough people with enough discretionary income like that it can support the game. And this is true of every single free-to-play game out there. Now, some free-to-play games are a little better at monetizing the entire community broadly. Most all free-to-play games, however, make all their money on, again, the smallest slice of players that are actually paying a ton for the game. So, something I hear all the time, and I get the feeling behind it, it just isn't actually true, is that if the cosmetics were cheaper, I would buy them. Now, that might be true on an individual level, right? I'm not arguing your personal experience and you saying, hey, if that Greninja Hollower was $5, I'd throw $5 at it. The fact of the matter is, all of this is fake, right? This is all not real. Like, Greninja's hat, there's no real value to Greninja's hat. I know I'm not like shaking the world with this right here, but there's no actual value to Greninja's hat. The value is simply assigned based on whatever someone will pay for it or whatever the dev wants to charge for it. The dev could release a piece of Hollowware for $1,000, and if nobody buys it, well, that Hollowware is essentially worthless, right? But it's still worth $1,000 if somebody is willing to pay $1,000 for it. It's kind of the idea of a collectible in some ways, except these are digital collectibles. You know, imagine I have a Pokemon card that people are like, dude, that foil Charizard, whatever. Sorry, I'm not going to get the exact right what it would be. But dude, that card's worth like 10 grand or something. Only if someone will pay for it. And in these free-to-play games, this is the same thing. And the fact of the matter is, they have found a sweet spot, at least in their opinion, right? For what people will pay for certain pieces of the game. This is what people will pay for a Battle Pass. This is what they'll pay for the Battle Pass Plus thing, right? This is what people will pay for a regular looking piece of Hollowware. This is what people will pay when, you know, Wigglytuff is sailing on a boat. You know, we have sort of that look there. This is what people will pay for a Battle Pass. Well, what will they pay for an Event Pass? And given the amount of Event Passes coming out, I think they're recognizing, oh, people will actually pay for Hollowware at a lower price because it's part of this Event Pass, and this also creates an incentive for players to play, right? They're building this Event Pass, they get rewards along the way, and then they get a cool piece of Hollowware. So all of these free-to-play games are trying to find exactly what players will pay for, what the whales will pay for, and if there's any way to turn a free-to-play player into a paying player into like a mid-rate paying player, which is kind of, I think, oftentimes doesn't have like a full name really. They just look at whales as, I think it's like minnows, dolphins, whales, but sometimes you would look at the players who pay a little bit as like a dolphin, so they might get battle passes. Maybe they'll like Gemlock pay for their favorite Pokemon. But they're not spending 40 bucks on a Goodra Hollowware. They're not spending 40 bucks on, you know, a Hollowware for a Pokemon that they don't play. Sorry, Goodra trainer outfit, or a Hollowware they don't play, right? This is what they're trying to figure out with all of this. So when this post is kind of blown away by this, when this poster is asking, are they out of their minds? Quite simply, no, they're not. It's the economy of a free-to-play game, and they're actually crazy like a fox. You know, the sad truth is, if you play other mobile games or free-to-play games, and I think a lot of people probably, given that Pokemon is really not a free-to-play game, right? A lot of people have come from VGC and stuff like that. This is their first MOBA. I think a lot of people were not aware of how a free-to-play game monetizes, and for whatever it's worth, Pokemon Unite is a pretty kind free-to-play game. If you start playing other games, you'll know what I'm talking about. You will see lots of stuff like not being able to play more matches because you don't have enough chests or you don't have enough elixir. Everything's gated, everything's time gated, so you can't progress actually unless you speed up with more workers. Like, all of these games have tons of ways that they try to get revenue from their player base because the base game is free. And really what it is it's a free environment that they hope people will wander into, and a few people with a lot of money will throw a ton of money at it. So I just wanted to make this video because I often hear people talk about the monetization in Unite, and I guess my big thought behind all of it is, are they out of their minds? No, they're not. This is how a free-to-play game makes money. Now, we might not like it. I wish that it cost a lot less. I wish more people could enjoy the cosmetics and things like that. But no, they're not out of their minds. This is free to play. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. I love you all, and I'll see you all next time. Nerf trainer outfit prices. I mean, it'd be fair.